What's up, programmer? In this video, I'm going to explain for loops in C++. So, what are for loops? For loops are conditional loops that will repeat a process for a period of time that is specified. They are very useful when you want to run a certain part of your code for a specific amount of time that you specified. Now, I'm going to show you how to create for loops in C++. To create a for loop, you will need to type the word for, then type 2 parentheses and 2 curly brackets. Now, you will need to focus in between the parentheses. There are 3 parts that you need to type inside the parentheses. The first part is the index variable to keep count of the number of times that the for loop will run. The most common way that programmers use to create the index variable is to use an integer variable and then use the letter I as the variable name. Then you will set it to a number such as 0 or 1, which is the most common number. For the second part, we need to create a condition that states when we want this for loop to stop. This will depend on how many times you want to run the for loop, but in this example, I am going to set it to 5. For the third part, we need to create the increment or decrement value that we want to increase or decrease the index variable by. The most common increment or decrement values will be to increase or decrease by 1. To increase by 1, type the index variable name, which is I, then type ++. For decreasing by 1, type I -. Remember, the index variable is the first part of the for loop, and the variable is going to keep count of the number of times the for loop is going to run. The second part is the condition that you want the for loop to stop. In this example, I want the for loop to stop before 5. The third part is the increment or decrement value. I want the index variable to increase by 1. Now we are going to place some code inside the for loop. When we run the program, you can see that the for loop ran for 4 times. I had the index variable start at 1, and the code in the for loop was processed it 4 times before it reached it 5. We can also do the same thing for decreasing. All we have to do is change the index variable to a different number. The same thing goes for the condition, and then we change the increment value to be a decreasing value. In this example, I now changed the for loop to be so that the index variable starts at 5 and it will run until it gets to 0, and the index variable will decrease by 1. When we run the program, you can see that the for loop ran for 5 times and it started from 5. The code in the for loop ran for 5 times before the for loop ended. Comment down below if you found this video helpful so far, or you have any questions you want to ask. Now I am going to show you another example. In this example, I will create a for loop that starts at 0. However, in the condition, instead of typing a number, I will create an integer variable and set it equal to 10. Then I will use that variable for the condition. I can type the variable name instead of a number. One thing that you need to make sure that you know is that for the condition, it just needs to be a number, so you don't have to type a number for the condition. You can use a variable if the variable is set to a number. It really depends on your code and how you want it to work. Now, for the increment or decrement value, I am not going to be increasing by 1. Instead, I will try to increase by another number, like 3. To increase by a different number other than 1, just type I, then a plus sign, a equal sign, and a number. So when we run the program, you can see that the for loop ran for 4 times. This is because the for loop started at 0 and the index variable kept on increasing by 3. Now, you can also do the same thing for decreasing. All we have to do is just change the value the index variable starts at, and the condition, and also the increment or decrement value. For this example, I want the for loop to start at 10 and to end at 0. I would decrease the index variable value by 3. When we run the program, you can see that the for loop ran for a total of 4 times. The for loop started at 10 and then decreased it by 3. The index variable, the condition, and the increment or decrement value you put for the for loop is very important, and it will determine how the for loop will run. Additionally, if you are going to be using for loops in your program, you want to also make sure you know how to use while loops, which are conditional loops that are very similar to for loops. I will demonstrate while loops in this video, so you want to go watch that video next. Anyways, this is Easy Syntax, showing you programming made easy. Thank you for watching.